Tshwane bus services and A Re Yeng were the latest operations to be withdrawn in the city after several incidents of alleged organised violence and destruction of property. 3 trucks from the Water and Sanitation Division and an A Re Yeng bus, a Tshwane bakkie and a water tanker were damaged in violent attacks in Pretoria CBD this week. 4 of the vehicles were torched and at least 1 employee was assaulted and taken to hospital in a serious condition. City of Tshwane Human Settlements MMC Ofentse Madzebatela joins us for more on this conversation, and he joins us via our video link. Ofentse, thank you so much for joining us here on the late edition. Of course, we've seen, over the past couple of days, just the level of violence and destruction which has affected the city of Tshwane. How bad is this?
Good evening, Bali, and good evening to your viewers. Bali, it is no longer an illegal strike, as the mayor has said last night, even in your clip. This is now a criminal act, and we have asked that the SAPS must now intervene and deal decisively with this.
And I'm sure, just watching that package there, which was compiled by my colleague Ofentse, when you look at, how bad this has become, surely it also affects problems of service delivery to the residents of Tshwane.
Yeah, this is affecting service delivery very badly. As you have seen, that we are now even resorting to doing night duty in order for us to be able to collect refuse, because during the day, as you're even seeing in the pictures, this is exactly what happens to our fleet, to our infrastructure. We are having hydrants being broken all over, water flowing all over. We are having sewer pipes being broken. We are having anything that is a Tshwane branded vehicle banned. So it is affecting service delivery deeply. So our response is no longer as according to the SOP we have with the residents. So it is really affecting service delivery, and we are really feeling the pinch of this criminal act.
And this has also resulted, in commuters now being left stranded, because I understand that the city of Tshwane has now withdrawn its buses from the operation in your city.
Yeah, we had thought that things have come down. We had thought that with the talks that has been happening, that things are a bit more calmer and people are coming back to work. And we had seen, starting last week, there was a trickling in of people coming back to work, and the majority of the people were back at work. And we thought maybe this is the perfect time to resume the bus service, because you would understand that in any strike, such fleet would be attacked, which we saw in the beginning of the strike, and at times they would hijack these buses and block roads and move away with the keys. So we had stopped that because we didn't want to cause damage, and also to bring traffic to a standstill. But after we had seen that things were becoming a bit normal, we had said no. Now we can start resuming the bus service. Unfortunately, on the first day that we had resumed the bus service, and we saw the kind of violence that we saw yesterday. As you have rightly said, we saw our water tankers, our bakkies, as well as some of the sewer trucks being banned yesterday. And it is an unfortunate, and hence we are saying if our workers are at work and they are saying and they are signing the attendance register, then these people should be criminals. And therefore, that is why we are calling on the Minister of Police to act as such, and to really assist us in ensuring that we bring to book these criminals.
And perhaps, Ofentse, if you can just tell us, when it comes to the amount of destruction which has now beset the people of the city of Tshwane, how much is this costing the city, especially the infrastructure damage?
Yeah, I think that will have to be reconciled after this whole debacle, and we will see the extent of it at that time. But I can assure you that this is really costing the city quite a lot, both in infrastructure, in fleet, and also in these private services that we are incurring, where we need to hire private security, where we need to hire private electricians, and so forth. So these extra private services are really costing us, and we will see the effect of this once the books are reconciled.
And when it comes to the issues that some of the workers are facing, I remember right in the beginning of the protest, some workers were saying that they are being intimidated, especially those reporting for duty. Are you still seeing, those kinds of problems when it comes to some employees not being able to come to work physically because, they are being intimidated here?
You see, that's my point. We have people that are at work, but you would see that there will be these criminals that enter into these buildings and start doing the things that they're doing, chasing people out, pointing fingers at people, telling them that we know where you live. But we have said that we need these people to be identified, both by the workers as well as crime intelligence, so that we can be able to nip this and be able to bring people to book. Look, we have had employees that have been shot. We have yesterday saw one of the water tankers in my department that is servicing the vulnerable of amongst us in communities being attacked. You see, when you satellite a water tanker that is delivering water to the vulnerable and they need, it goes beyond humanity. It's inhumane, it's criminality, and we need to get these people to book.
And you keep on saying that, you want these people brought to book, but at the same time, I understand that there is some sort of civil claim that the city of Tshwane is launching against, the union SAMU. Yes,
that was the standpoint, and we have been to court, and it is a matter that is before the courts. That's the case. Because we also believe that the union has really lost control of this. We don't think they're no longer in charge of their members. This is now a political stance, a criminal stance, masquerading as a labor dispute.
And of course, these workers, you speak of court. I understand that, you are taking the issue of the bargaining council to the labor court. One would also ask that since seeing now you've lost at the bargaining council to not give these employees, their wage increment, one would ask, can't you find a lasting solution so that we don't see any further damage? I mean, the unions themselves keep on saying, why is the city of Tshwane wasting so much money going to the courts? You are paying for legal fees here. Why can't you just simply find a solution, speak to the workers, and at the end of the day, pay them the amount, which is something that the city had agreed to?
Yeah, you see, Bali, we need to look at this with the context that it is. These agreements were agreed pre-COVID, and we now had COVID. And we must understand that what COVID did was it depleted the city's income as far as collection is concerned, because people lost jobs. So we are having a lesser collection as compared to pre-COVID. Further to that, there has been other shocks to the system of the city, inclusive of the SARS tax issues that we have already alluded to, that were the awarding of an irregular contract pre-2016, which now the effects of it are being felt now. But having said that, we are not saying that we have closed the door to talks. But what we are saying is that at the current moment, at this financial year, the city will not be able to afford it. Look, Mbali, if we are to agree to this will cost the city close to 600 million. And it's something that this city cannot afford. So we rather take this in order to save the city. Either we give in and we start paying this 600 million and the city runs out of money, which means now there will be total collapse of what we call the city of Tshwane Metropolitan, or we then fight this and we urge the courts to see what we are seeing. Look at the books, they are there, they are transparent. it is something that currently we cannot afford. And this is something that we have said over and over to say, let us work. And after this financial year, we can sit down and talk further and say, okay, this is what we've been able to do now. This is when we can be able to effect these increases. Remember, we are having an unfunded budget. And this unfunded budget comes with a funding plan that we need to present to National Treasury. And National Treasury has supported the way in which we are looking at to recovering recovering the city's finances.
Yeah.
And one of those things in the funding budget is that we will not be giving increases in this current financial year.